So the first muscle, the saboteur interceptor. This is about training your mind to understand and intercept the saboteurs that show up in your head to derail us, to cause us anxiety, to destroy our confidence, and so on. Now, the first and most prominent saboteur, the one that we all have and whom we call the master saboteur, that's the judge. He's like the emperor in Star Wars. He shows up when he's least wanted or needed, and he or she does exactly what he's named to do, to judge. And the judge does this in three different ways, three different modes. He judges yourself by telling you you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're nobody, you're dumb. The judge is the cause of imposter syndrome. You know, when your brain says, who are you to be in this room with all these intelligent people? Who are you to be in this job? The second mode for the judge is judging other people, telling you what losers they are, how they're not worthy of your time or attention or forgiveness. The third mode of the judge is judging situations and circumstances and telling you that you can't be happy until you do this or have this or buy that, or you'll only be happy when the pandemic's over. This master saboteur also has a bunch of accomplices, 9 of them to be exact. These are the 9 accomplice saboteurs: the controller, the hyperachiever, restless, stickler, pleaser, hypervigilant, avoider, victim, and the hyperrational. Now, you might be able to identify these saboteurs in other people, but what I'd recommend is that you focus on your own saboteurs for now. Look at how you self-sabotage. It's okay that you have them. Everyone has some of these. So how do you identify your accomplice saboteurs? Well, you can do the free saboteur assessment on the Positive Intelligence website to determine what your top personal saboteurs are. Now, on the Positive Intelligence program, we help you strengthen your saboteur interceptor muscle by giving you a description of the saboteurs so that you start to see how the saboteur lies to you when it's showing up in your head. It's like creating a wanted poster for a criminal so that you can catch the criminal a lot faster. The more you recognize the lies of the saboteur, the faster you can intercept it when it shows up in your head. That's how we build up your saboteur interceptor muscle. Your saboteurs and sages live in different parts of your brain. The saboteurs live in the left side of your brain. That's the part of your brain known as your survival brain. Your sage, on the other hand, lives more in parts of the right brain. The saboteurs motivate you through negative emotions like fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, and insecurity. The inner Jedi, sage, however, motivates you through positive emotions like empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. Now, here's a question. How have you been motivating yourself mostly? Is it your saboteurs pushing you and running the show, or the sage? Remember that both can move you forward, but in very different ways and with very different outcomes. Your saboteurs might help you generate success, but not happiness. Lots of leaders are highly successful, but they're not happy. They don't have a lot of peace and happiness. They're rich, they're powerful, they're successful in the way that the world might define success, but they're deeply unhappy at their core. You can push yourself through all of these negative emotions, but you won't be happy climbing that mountain, and you won't be happy along the trail. And when you get to the top of the mountain, you'll celebrate for maybe 5 minutes, and then you'll be back to being stressed and anxious about the next mountain to climb, or why you're not as rich as the CEO of Amazon. I remember coaching a top banker in Singapore. When I asked him about his goal, he said, well, last year I made $25 million. So this year I need to make 50 million. or I won't be happy. Which side of the brain do you think was motivating him? So, on the other side of this, what the sage does is generate your highest success and sustained happiness. Your peak performance comes from the positive part of your brain. So, if you want to get to your highest achievement, this is the brain that will help you get there. If you want to self actualize, this is the brain that will help you get there. If you want to achieve individuation, this is the brain that will help you get there. If you want to find your true trail in life, this is the brain that'll help you get there. Here's a rugby analogy. It's the World Cup final. The timer's counting down to the end of the game. The score is even. You're running for the touchline. What's happening in your brain? If the saboteurs are running your brain, oh my God, if I trip and fall, I'm going to look like a loser. If I get tackled, I'm going to lose it for the team. The whole country's going to hate me. That level of stress, that saboteur voice, is what makes athletes choke. Here's a personal story. When I was a young university student, I was in my university fencing team. I was in a major tournament and I was cruising through the rounds, beating everyone until I got to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals would be decided on the best of three bouts. I was facing my former coach, the guy who taught me to fence. In bout one, I went for it and I beat him easily. Then in bout two, I started to falter. Doubt entered my head and he beat me. So we're now on one bout each. The next bout decides who goes into the semis. Then what enters my head but my judge? Oh no, I can't lose. I'll look bad. What if he beats me? He's better than me. How the hell could I possibly beat my coach? What do you think happened? I choked, I lost the bout, and lost the tournament. You know what the umpire said to me? He wanted it more. My saboteur brain decided to just fill my head with all of these negative thoughts and emotions, and so distracted me to the point that I lost the tournament. Had I activated my sage, what a joy to be here. How great it is to be fencing my coach. I might have won. If you want to be happy, you've got to motivate yourself through the sage. You can achieve a lot using either your saboteur or your sage, but if you use your sage, I guarantee you'll be a lot happier along the trail. A very important question and a very legitimate question at this point. Are negative emotions good for you? Athletes and high performers may ask, doesn't stress give you your performance edge? Let me ask you this. Is pain good for you? Is pain good for you? Hopefully, your answer is yes, pain is good for me. Why? Because if I put my hand on a hot stove, it's good for me to feel pain. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep my hand on the hot stove and burn my hand down to the bone. So yes, pain is good for you. It's an important signal. But let me ask you this. For how long would you like to feel the pain of your hand on the hot stove? Hopefully, as quick as you get the message and take action and yank your hand off. Is it good to feel stress about the coronavirus? Yes, it is. Otherwise, you wouldn't take action. If you don't feel pain, you won't take action. But for how long would you like to feel that stress? Hopefully, no more than a second. Then you take action. It does you no good to keep feeling those negative emotions without taking immediate action. The value of negative emotions are the signal you need to wake up and take action. The moment that information is delivered, if you stay in negativity, your brain creates a vortex of negativity and spirals into a never-ending cycle of negativity and catastrophizing. The part of your brain that has access to creativity, resourcefulness, calm, clear-headed, laser-focused action to figure out what to do with this problem is the positive part of your brain. So remember, negative emotions are only helpful for 1 second as an alert signal. Staying in negative emotions hurts your ability to see clearly and respond with empathy, curiosity, and creativity. That's why we call this Jedi mind training, because the Jedi, when they're under attack, have a very high level of mental fitness. A Jedi master or black belt, they immediately shift into calm, clear-headed, laser-focused attention, the sage brain, because if they stay upset, they can't focus on who's attacking them. That's when the Jedi are the most fierce in battle. They're able to maintain a calm focus while they're under attack. It's not useful to continue to feel angry or upset or stressed. The Jedi is the example of black belt mental fitness. Negative emotions trigger your saboteur brain. You intercept that thought and discredit it or disown it. And that's how you get better at your saboteur interceptor muscle, because you're able to discredit the thoughts that are causing all of those negative emotions and stress. It's not you, it's your saboteur. That's how you start to build those muscles, by learning how to intercept your saboteurs better. Stay with me, and in the next video, we'll examine how to make that shift and build our sage brain.